Evil Dead Burn is here. I've watched it. I love it. And if you're an Evil Dead fan, you know exactly what you're here for. People getting possessed and committing the most violent act you've ever seen on screen. People getting stabbed by household appliances by their own fucking family. Huh? You like that, you weird freak? The kind of shit that makes you sit there looking at the wall afterwards, just thinking, what the fuck did I just watch? Now we finally get our precious collections of 3 new generation Evil Dead movies. We have Evil Dead 2013, we have Evil Dead Rise, and now we have Evil Dead Burn. So today we're gonna answer the question, which one is actually the best? 2013 gave us some of the most brutal shit in this franchise, while Rise gave us Ellie, one of the most fucked up Deadite that we'll ever see on screen. And Burn? Yeah, Burn. I have a lot to talk about Burn. And the crazy thing is, all 3 are completely different movies. They all come from different directors, so of course, they all put their own secret sauce. So today, I'm gonna put all 3 movies into 6 different rounds of what I think makes an Evil Dead movie an Evil Dead movie. And we're gonna examine all 3 movies together and see which one deserves to be crowned as the best new generation Evil Dead movie. So question for the first round. What does an Evil Dead movie needs to do in its first few minutes? So somehow they already established a tradition with all these new gens Evil Dead movie. They need to start with a fucking bang. For me, an Evil Dead movie opening needs to achieve these 3 things. They need to shock the shit out of you. Number 2, they need to tell you exactly what kind of fucked up movie that you're about to watch. And number 3, it need to give you something that you will absolutely remember. And 2013 starts with the scene. Shotgun straight to the face. So for Rise and Burn, they both start at this beautiful lake far away from where the actual story is. And both look pretty fucking good. They're fast, they're gruesome, they straight to the point, and they immediately tells you what kind of movie that you're about to watch. But Burn gets an extra point for its ambition. The opening itself is almost 16 minutes long. And then we get to the car crash, the burning car scene. Imagine your car just flipped multiple times and now you're trapped inside this burning car. And then there's this decapitated bitch smiling, talking to you, reading a spell to summon a demon and shove it down your throat. I have no words. And we haven't even gotten to the title card yet. Intense as fuck. So Evil Dead Burn win this round? Well, not really. Because there's still this one opening scene that I still remember 10 years after watching it for the first time. Flashback time! So imagine being in college in 2013. You just downloaded a movie called Evil Dead and you're excited to watch it with your friends. You gather around the PC, speakers at max volume because we all enjoy some good hearing damage. And then you see this girl, this innocent looking girl tied up, and all these weird people who just captured this girl. And old women reading some weird ass shit. And this girl is like begging to her dad to let her go. Dude, what the fuck are you gonna do to your daughter? And then she starts speaking with this demonic voice. My bad, so please carry on with what you're doing. And then, being the responsible dad as he is, he set the girl on fire before blasting her fucking head off with a shotgun. And we all looking at each other's faces and we're like, what the fuck is this movie? And yeah, 2013 opening definitely win the first round. But an insane opening is not enough if the story sucks. So what actually makes a good Evil Dead story? An Evil Dead movie doesn't really need a complicated story to begin with. It just needs to establish something that we actually cares about before the Deadite come out and smash it all to pieces. And yes, 2013 has the best opening, but for me, it has the simplest story among all 3. We have Mia, this heroin addict that is an absolute shit show. So her brother and her friends decided to bring her to this isolated cabin and go cold turkey for, I don't know, a couple of days. Sounds good so far. And this hippie nerd, Eric, he found a book that looks like it's made out of human skin and decides, yeah, I want to read it out loud. What could go wrong, brother? This guy has the survival instinct of a fart. And that's basically the whole setup. The ride begins and the rest is history. With Evil Dead Burn, they start flipping the formula a little bit. Here we have the Kandarian dagger, which gives the story an actual objective instead of just surviving the Deadites' onslaught. I also like the fact that the movie starts with a Deadite reading the spell to a human being instead of some idiot who accidentally read a spell from the freaking book that is made out of human skin. Crazy, right? But this guy, Joseph, still managed to fuck things up for his whole family. He removes the protection from the dagger after listening to a recording of his grandfather telling him exactly not to do that. These white people, can you please have some respect for your ancestors? Listen to them. No respect at all. And now look at what you've done. The character story is also a little bit more ambitious. There's an implied abuse. There's grief after the loss of your family member. And also there's this dysfunctional family that just pretends that everything is alright. But being ambitious doesn't really mean that you are the best. So Evil Dead Rise, let's look at what Ellie is dealing with here. She's a single mother, struggling, raising 3 kids on her own. One is 15. This one is 14, I think. And this one is only 8 years old. Looks like that. And Ellie gets possessed and becomes this monster that go all out to kill all her children. And these are not grown adults that can fight back. They are children. Look at this girl. She might still be watching Peppa Pig for fuck's sake. And now they're trapped inside this apartment with their own mother hunting them down. And Beth is forced to take care of his niece and nephew while she herself is secretly pregnant. Coincidence? Sure. But emotionally, it fucking works. And this one scene captures everything that I just talked about. While she's fighting the possession for one last time, she tells Beth, "Don't let it take my babies." Right before she falls into her own vomit. Fucking tragic. So 2013 has the simplest story. Burn is the most ambitious. But Evil Dead Rise, the story, this one definitely hits the hardest. Evil Dead Rise gives us this fragile family that we eventually cares about and spend the rest of the movie absolutely destroying it. So the second round goes to Evil Dead Rise. We now have a tie here between 2013 and Evil Dead Rise. That's a good competition. And Evil Dead movie is not actually famous for its screenwriting, let's be honest. It's famous for these evil little fuckers, these disgusting Deadites. So I've just watched Evil Dead Burn, and honestly, the Deadites here are the weakest. Not because the Deadites are bad, but for me, none of them are memorable or iconic. Tia is cool, but not actually iconic. Edgar is great at beating the shit out of his son and aura farming. Next. The dog? Nah. But the grandma, now we're talking. This grandma is crazy. She even gets her own post-credit scene. Hell, she might even get her own movie if you let her. She's probably the best Deadite in Evil Dead Burn. And that's the problem. She's going against Mia and Ellie. So Mia is the Deadite that is the fucking showrunner for Evil Dead 2013. She's creepy as hell. Her face, her eyes, her fucking smile. Like, man, I would die out of a heart attack if I suddenly see her peeking out of my window. And she doesn't just attack people, she fucks with them. And the basement scene, God. She's locked down there, but she really doesn't know when to shut the fuck up. She's just enjoying the fact that everyone in the cabin is just terrified of her. Creepy as fuck. But then in Evil Dead Rise, we get Ellie. It's not just the makeup, it's not just the contact lens. The expressions, how she moves her head, things that come out of her mouth and how she says it, the way she randomly switches between animalistic and manipulative. But the scene that genuinely creeped me out the most is the peephole scene. After all the murdering she did, she can just switch it off and talk to her daughter like a normal mother, trying to convince her to open the door. And what the fuck, you think I would buy that? With your face looking like that? And this dumbass kid actually opens the door. Come on, kid! It's just depressing to think that the kid was convinced by her acting. So that's what makes Ellie the best Deadite. She's not just scary, she's brutal, and she's just terrifying to watch. So Evil Dead Rise takes round 3 and lead the race. 1 point for Evil Dead 2013 and 0 point for Evil Dead Burn so far. So let me just remind you of one thing. An Evil Dead movie is not just supposed to scare you, it's supposed to be fun. So here where things might get more interesting. Evil Dead 2013 is just pure pain and suffering, for God's sake. It's brutal, it's disturbing, but fun? Not really. And Evil Dead Rise is actually really fun. Mostly because Ellie's antics is just so fun to watch. She jumps on one of the neighbors and bites his eyeball off. And she literally spits the eyeball straight into this other guy's throat. Just what the fuck did I just watch? What the fuck? And we are then presented with this amazing hallway massacre. Just ridiculous. You're watching people getting massacred by her and somehow you're having so much fun. And all this ridiculous shit that come out of Ellie's mouth. Rise is just genuinely fun. But Evil Dead Burn, this movie is just a fucking blast way beyond Evil Dead Rise. The action scenes in this movie is just so fucking amazing. I'm not kidding. It's like I'm watching a Bourne movie or a martial art movie. The head smash into mirrors scene really caught me off guard. It came out of nowhere and I was like, whoa! It's just a ridiculously cool trick shot. And the one take of Edgar beating the shit out of his son is just fucking amazing. We have this in the trailer, but still, to see it on the big screen is just unforgettable. Basically one continuous shot of him trashing the house with his son's face. So Edgar is our first gun-wielding Deadite. So what did he do with that? So the most logical thing for a Deadite to do is to blow your own brains out 3 times. You silly goose! Crazy. And how can we forget about the freaking grandma? Honestly, even before she got possessed, she's already my favorite character in the film. She's gonna take my money! And then she gets possessed and get even more ridiculous. So we have cool actions, ridiculous pointless violence, and stupid comedy. And finally, Burns get on the scoreboard. Evil Dead Burn takes round 4. And now we're getting into what an Evil Dead movie is made for. The gore. And honestly, all 3 movies are fucking disgusting. I could sit here and go through every single gore scene in all 3 movies, and honestly, what's the point? They all have enough gore to make a normal person question why they even bought a TV. They all got their own crazy shit. People burning to death, people getting stabbed, people getting ripped apart by whatever the fuck the Deadites can find in your house. So instead, I'm looking for scenes that can actually push one movie above and beyond. And I'd say that Evil Dead Rise has 2 horrific scenes that definitely stands out. The blood elevator. I just love this scene. And obviously, it's a little homage to The Shining. Except this time, you are trapped inside the fucking elevator. And I'm still wondering, where is all this blood coming from? From hell? Where's the pipe? Who the fuck turned on the tap? Lucifer? Who gives a fuck? This scene is just pure yuck. The Marauder! Evil Dead is already filled to the brim with mutilation, decapitation, dismemberment, blah 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 blah. But Rise looked at all these chopped up bodies and goes, what am I gonna do with all this? Maybe let's just put them all together, assemble them like a fucking Megazord. Voila, perfection.
Oh! Ew! Dude! What the fuck?
No, seriously, who the fuck come up with this shit? They need professional help immediately. They need God. They need God. And the worst part is that these are a mother and her fucking children, and they are literally crawling into each other's bodies. And somehow, in the most fucked up way possible, the writers managed to bring them all together. Good job. So obviously, Evil Dead Rise win this round. It has the bloodiest scene in the whole franchise, like gallons of blood, and the most fucked up dead body desecration in the whole franchise, period. Like the opening scene, it's now a tradition for an Evil Dead movie to have an absolute banger of an ending. And sadly, Evil Dead Burn has a problem. 2 words, bad CGI. Bro, why does this bitch look like Vecna? After spending the entire movie giving us all this amazing physical stun, this is your final boss? This bitch looks like it came straight from Stranger Things. I immediately lost all immersion. All my suspension of disbelief are all gone just like that.
Get out of here, man!
Evil Dead Rise has a much better final scene. It begins with the Deadites chanting, "Dead by dawn, dead by dawn, dead by dawn." So they go through the blood elevator And then we finally get the big Marauder fight. And I actually wish that they show us the Marauder more. I kind of feel like they are purposely hiding the Marauder from the camera. And then Beth and Cassie force the Marauder into the wood chipper and turn this entire family abomination into ground beef. Very Evil Dead. But Evil Dead 13, my god, this one is on a whole another level. The entire final sequence is just amazing. The escalation, the sequence is just crazy. And the visuals, oh my god, the visuals. I can't put it into words, just look at this shit. The cabin is burning, blood starts raining from the sky, and this abomination erupts from the ground and chase Mia through the forest. This fucking thing can lift a car with one hand. And Mia cuts her own hand off. And then you got that shot, that blood rain, burning cabin, chainsaw, Deadite cut into half. This is Evil Dead. And this is the kind of final scene that you will remember forever. Evil Dead 2013 takes this final round with the most awesome final fight. So after 6 rounds, let's see what we got. The opening goes to 2013, the story goes to Rise, the Deadites goes to Rise, Fun goes to Burn, Gore goes to Rise, and the final fight goes to Evil Dead 2013. So the final score, Evil Dead Burn got 1 point, the first Evil Dead reboot, Evil Dead 2013 get 2 points, and Evil Dead Rise get 3 points. That means the best new generation Evil Dead movie is Evil Dead Rise. Evil Dead Rise is definitely the one that hit you the hardest. It gives us a family that we actually care about. It gives us Ellie. It's fucking brutal, and somehow it's still fun as hell. And that's what I love about all these new gen Evil Dead movies. 3 movies in and we're still arguing on which one is the best. And now we're getting a new Evil Dead movie in 2028. And let's see how the fuck are they gonna top all this.